I'm going to assume that you've gotten into your CSAS server. If you want, you can create a file called, create new file, we'll call it ch02.html. And I'm just going to copy this whole file, paste it into the JS file. We'll put a whole bunch of code in here. Come on, maybe there we go. And basically what I want you to do is to feel comfortable with console log and the different expressions you might have. Like here we'll do console log. Let's try 33 hello plus 17. In PHP that'll give you 50. But let's see what it does in let's see what this does in JavaScript. So we'll go to our browser. I'm going to go to my particular subdirectory, ch01.html, and it gave me it concatenated it all together. Okay, so we've kind of got a feeling for values and data types and operations. Now let's take a swing at program structure. And I need to do eloquent. .NET, okay. Program structure. So, like most programs, JavaScript is made up of expressions, at least partly, and normally the expressions are followed by a semicolon. You can just put a number, you can put a Boolean value and operators. These would just be considered programs. When we were doing, beginning programming, one of the first things we would do would be create variables. In JavaScript, you use the var. You don't have to say var in front of the variable name. You can just say the variable name. But if you say var, then it makes it local to the block that you're calling it in. If you don't do that, it makes it global. So it's easy to lose track of which variables are local and which ones are global. You can have many different instances of a local and global variable, so you have to be careful about that. Here you can multiply, take a variable and you multiply it the same way as you would in any other language. If you execute a method on a particular variable, it's going to evaluate that variable. And the reason they have this octopus in here is it's trying to let you know that the value that the name, the identifier is connected to, is separate from the actual value. You can have multiple values attached, multiple identifiers attached to the same value. So this is an example of one. But a single var statement can define multiple variables. So 1 equals 1, 2 equals 2, and so on and so forth. And this really is nothing new. This is just beginning programming stuff. Some words cannot be used as variables, reserved words. You can't use them as variables, it'll give you an error. If I go back here and see if I can do this. Break gets 5. Says no, you can't use break because that's sorry, I thought maybe the screen went up.
Or if you capitalize the B or something.
Yeah, I mean it is case sensitive. So yeah, you could do that. Yeah, good call. Environment functions. There's a lot of built-in JavaScript functions. Probably the one that people are most familiar with is alert. It puts up a little test box. It's a good way for testing because it just pops a little box up. The only problem is they get annoying, especially if 5, 6 boxes you're clicking through them like that. But console log is better. The second best, arguably, or second most common maybe debugging method is this alert thing. So you could give it a try. Go in here and you could do it right here. You say alert, hey, and it'll give you a little alert box. Hey, just annoying. But if you want, if you're going through your program and you want it to stop at where it is, it's kind of a nice little thing. This is an interpreted language, so it'll go through everything line by line and then stop, and then if you hit it, it'll keep on going. So, kind of nice feature. Console log we talked about. Return values. There's a lot of methods and functions built into Java script, and the math library is one of them. Math.random, math.max, whatever. So these are the parameters that method takes. Math is never instantiated, it's just always there. Same as Java. I shouldn't say that. There are some things that are the same, I guess, as Java, but don't get used to it, because most of the time it's not. Prompt and confirm, so confirm, prompt, same as alert, just has cancel and OK on it. And so let's get into the if then else's. The if statements pretty much work the same way as any language you're already familiar with. I don't think we need to really this isn't any mysterious. If else. Yep.
If these particular examples don't show braces,
you can put braces.
You can put braces.
It's optional.
It's optional.
If you have more than one line of code, they're required. Okay. It'll have the same errors you would have in Java, right? So like if I put in here if one, I can say console log hello. Actually, I'll say 1 to make it easier, right? That's going to always do it, right? But if I say if one console log 1 and console log 2, what's going to happen? Here I'll put if 0 console log 1. What's going to happen here? Well, I said if 0. Well, if is going to evaluate to this console log 1, but not to this one. Oh, I'm sorry. This is console log 1. 2. Yeah, you're right. Because they're both 1. So yeah. So now it's going to say it's going to do console log 2. So if I go and execute this JS1 thing, refresh, it console log 2, but not 1. But if I put braces around this, then it's not going to do either one of them. Which is the same kind of error you'd have in any language that accepts code blocks like this. So, just make sure that you know what you mean, and it ignores all the white space. So if it's typed in the wrong line or whatever, it'll still pay attention to it. Python, no, you have to have it all aligned properly. Other languages, every language is different. Anyway, so yeah, you can use braces. Else if, it does do else if. While and do loops, I think we all know how to do those. Anybody feel uncomfortable with while and do loops? I think it's really some of the syntax you can actually pop right into Java. It will work, or even C++. So, do you guys know the program Fizzbuzz? Have you heard of that? Common job interview program. Fizzbuzz. A lot of times, if it's a beginning entry-level programming job, they'll say, just give the guy Fizzbuzz. See if he can do Fizzbuzz. So basically, you write a loop, and you print out the numbers from 1 to 100. If the number's divisible by 3, you print out fizz instead of the number. If it's divisible by 5, you print out buzz. And if it's divisible by both 3 and 5, you print out Fizzbuzz. Pretty simple instructions, right? So basically, this is a first job interview question. Program Fizzbuzz. You know enough, I think, to program it. Go ahead. Let's see. Program Fizzbuzz. You can do it.